And the
All
images are
right.
pretty good.
Oh my God, we look so goodgy.
Gonna hire us for the silver screen, gonna be the next movie actor.
Yeah, so welcome back, everybody. It's been such a long time that we haven't really had this chat with you guys here to just chill, and just talk about dance and talk about things like that. Back last year when we were doing Sunday live chats, we had this idea of, bringing some of our very, very hardworking and supportive family members from District Zouk to come and have a chat with us, but we never got around to it. But now it's new year. So new year, new calendar, and new time. So we're going to make this happen. So today we're here, Alisson and Guy, and we would like to please ask you to give a very, very welcome to Steven and Maya.
Hi. Thank you for inviting me.
Yep, thanks for the invite.
Guys, we love you guys, right?
You mean you love laughing at our dance? No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
Never.
I think in English we don't say at, but we say with, right? We say with. We love laughing with each other because laughing at is not a good thing. So I learned that in my school.
Very nice.
All right. So, well, first I would like to once again thank you for joining us and thank you for being such an amazing support throughout this whole time, throughout the quarantine. Not just you guys, but also a lot of the other students that hopefully will get around to have a chat with them here. And I think to start with, I would like to ask the both of you guys, like, what is Zouk for you? Is there something that describes Brazilian Zouk to you when somebody asks you, like, oh my God, why do you love this so much? What does it do to you? Is this a drug? Is it a dance? Is it what? What is it? So maybe let's start with Maya, ladies first.
Well, I have a very particular interest in Zouk. Somebody sent me music. I love listening to new music. And somebody sent me a link. And the link was to one of these SoundCloud tracks. And the end of the title said Zouk. And I liked the rhythm and I thought it was just really sweet. So it made me wonder, what is Zouk? So when I Googled Zouk, one of the first things I found was Brendan Anderson, who of course the two of you know. I don't know who's watching, but they may not have seen the links. And what I saw in Brendan Anderson's dance just absolutely blew me away. Because for me, there's such an embodiment of absolute presence and love, and not just love in the dance with your partner, but loving the exquisite sensation of dance in your body and loving the way a simple undulation feels like the wind. And so for me, I'm very spiritual. It becomes this kind of communion with the moment and communion with nature and communion with your partner and with your body. And I thought, whatever the two of those people are doing, I want that in my life.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful. And
That's
just
super
so
nice.
everybody know why you feel this way, can you share a little bit to us about your background?
Sure. So
I think that's going to make more sense.
Since the age of 17, I've been doing counseling and life coaching and spiritual coaching. And so I've cross-pollinated a lot of different traditions and cultures and teachings and everything that has to do with personal growth and community development and helping people get along better, compassionate communication, those kinds of things. But I also taught ballroom dance for 5 years for extra money before college and when I went to college. So dance and music, I've always been really passionate about dance and music in general, but a lot of different traditions of dance. So I had some dabbling in that. My heart is really rooted in, I would love to see more of our world expressing its love And I don't just mean romantic love. I mean, if the world were all living their passions, if instead of fighting with each other, everyone could hear the core values underneath everyone's voices, I think it would be a way of bringing us together more easily. And that's what I think dance does for us. I think dance gives everyone an opportunity to physically be with each other in an environment where we get to see each other's passions, where we get to have a good time and support each other in the things that we love to do. And so for me, Zouk is a natural body complement to an all-around holistic kind of lifestyle of healthy practice and expressing our joy in the world.
Wow. I don't have a drink, but
Wow.
let's cheer to that, okay? Let's cheers.
Yes. Let's just cheer. Cheers.
Just with water or whatever you have.
That was empty cup of water. That
Okay,
was so beautiful, Maya.
Steven, no pressure, but
Amazing.
let's follow up that one.
Oh my goodness, Maya. That was such a
Man.
great answer.
I'm nervous for you, man. After this one, just
So
gonna okay, guys.
my-
Bye. Okay.
Remember, just embody Guy, the Buddha.
Channel him.
Just.
Channel him.
So for me, Zouk, it's changed for me since when I first started till like my journey now. When I first started, I didn't like, first I saw all my friends going away from my other dance scenes, whether it was fusion or blues or whatever. I was like, where are they all going? And they're like, Steve, you should come. I was like, at this point I've been dancing social dancing since 98. And so I had done a lot of dance and I was like, I'm happy with my dance. I don't feel the need that I need to do another thing. And for whatever reason, one day I said, oh, what the heck, I'll give it a try. And then I met the people and they were so nice. And I was just like, oh, this is okay. These are nice people. I'll give this a shot. And it was funny because some parts of my previous dance prepared me for what I was about to come to, but other parts was like, oh, this is challenging. This is very challenging. I like challenges, so I don't run away from challenges. So I was like, but I'm gonna get this because I don't want to lose. And so I in my local community, I went through the beginner series. Oh, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 times. Just kept going to the beginner classes. Even after going to the intermediate class, I went to the beginner class again because I'm the type of student, I don't pick up everything on the first time. Oh, I don't know. I pick up less than most students on the first time. And so for me to go through each time, it's like, oh, wait, what is that person doing with their foot? Oh, it's slightly turned out, or wait, why do they do that? And so for me, it's like a continuous discovery process. And there's so many different layers to it. And that keeps things exciting for me in Zouk. But the people and the community, that's what also really keeps me coming back for more, because I mean, otherwise I just take another class in something else, right? If I just want to learn something. But the community is just really warm and welcoming. And so the dance is beautiful and embraces that too, I feel. And this past year of my journey, I felt that it has an additional, I always thought, because I've always done partner dancing, I've never really done any social dancing, I always thought you needed a partner to feel good in dance. And this past year, as you guys have kind of molded and improved and sculpted my technique to be better, I started to feel, oh my gosh, like I feel good in my own body. I don't need a partner. Now, don't get me wrong, I still want to dance with a partner, but it actually feels nice in my body, even just to solo practice and train the moves. It just feels nice in the body.
All of the undulation.
Yeah,
Stephen,
the undulations, the hip movements, lovely.
Stephen, I agree so much with you, because when Ashley was with the idea of doing the Sunday dance fix, the weekend dance fix, I was, until that point, I was not super comfortable or had found that pleasure of doing Zouk things on my own and find it super fun and super pleasurable was because of the Weekend Dance Fix, so meaning because of the pandemic, because of this whole situation, that I found a lot of pleasure doing dancing by myself and like getting lost in the music. I remember during some weekends I had to like, oh my God, I'm going too crazy. I have to come back, like allow people to come with me. And
Especially when it's very good traditional music, Guy goes nuts.
Oh my gosh, I just lose completely. So I completely understand what you mean, Steven. It's super, super true.
And look, I gotta say, I think you both, you know, you just raised the bar for any other chat that we may have in the future.
Oh.
Because Maya started strong. Steven went, you know what? I'm a competitive person. I'm gonna do this unintentionally. I know, yes. Unintentionally. But you know, you still brought like so much of your passion, both of you, already in like within minutes of our chat. You know, we could end here. And it's a life lesson for everybody already, to be honest, to be very honest. But
well, the funny thing is though, is that it's exactly the counterbalance for me that I wanted, because it's easy to just get really busy and tense and preoccupied with world events and preoccupied with life. And for me, the world can be stiffening and rigidifying sometimes. And Zouk is a place where I can get to feel that flow. And part of what I've learned from both of you, Alisson and Guy, is the places where we get to let go and let the bones carry us, and where we get to feel what it's like to do less and be more and enjoy more and let our bodies trust the process. And so it's been extremely relaxing and de-stressing and softening for my body, where it's easy to kind of get busy and do too much. And
yeah. I have a question for you, Maya, which is very interesting, because so just for you guys to know, Steven and Maya are our I think one of our most consistent students. Steven has been with us since, I think, the first cycle, right, Steven?
Yes. Yeah, March.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yes. So Steven has been with us for...
celebrate 1 year anniversary very soon, Steven.
Yes. With us for almost like for the entire pandemic. And Maya joined us on the 6th cycle with starting from scratch. And she has been with us ever since. So very consistent students, and are people that we rely on to keep it real for us, you know, to tell us, give us a feedback, tell us what we can do better, things, to tell us things. So in Maya, the last feedback that she gave us, that she passed on to me, was regarding the structure of the class, how she learned the structure of her class. Like, oh, maybe if you guys implement that, it will be easier for this group of people here. And I wanted to know from Maya that you have the feel approach, this idea of the feeling of the dance, but what do you see as the role of the structure of the technique in the dance, but also the structure of the class as something that will facilitate the students or the dancers to get to that feeling-based experience, for example. Do you know what I mean? Does it make sense?
I think what you're asking is, in like, how, when I think about the structure of our classes or the structure of our dance, like, what does that contribute? Like, how does that help learning?
Yes.
Well, you know, I had a little bit of a spoiled experience, because I was teaching with a studio that was built by a couple who are competitive professional, their whole lifetime ballroom dancers. And then I got to experience you all teaching with a partner of mine who is a total newbie and doesn't dance and has zero kind of aptitude with movement. And so I could see not only my own perspective, but also what was confusing for him or what interested him. And And by the way, I really want to commend and thank the both of you, because you have met my commentary with such love and receptivity. And all I've seen from you over and over each cycle, the way you're accommodating everyone's requests and integrating feedback. And I don't always see that with collaborations and with other organizations. And so I really appreciate kind of the spirit of District Zouk in that department. It inspires me to want to support your work, because you're so supportive of us and the community. So yeah, so one of the things that I think, I mean, in terms of structure, of course, that we're all different learners, right? Like some of us are very, like, we love the music, so we're very auditory and you just tell it to us and we figure it out. And some of us are very kinesthetic and we've got to kind of feel it in the body before it makes any sense. And some of us are very visual, like we have to kind of get an image of what it is we're doing. And I think that for me anyway, as a learner at District Zouk, that structure gives me a way to kind of figure out, given my different learning style, like, how do I understand what the heck is going on? And I'm not Brazilian and I don't have kind of some of that movement naturally in my body. And the counts are very different than your kind of just 2/4 average rock beat, white man's overbite dancing, right? Like, what is the joke about that? And so I've appreciated that the structure gives us both the flexibility to kind of learn what we're learning in a way that's very broken down into little pieces, so that, for example, when I came in, like the snake, the side undulation, like I just could not do that at all. And so I could do the patterns and follow along with some of the dance, but then having the structure in a way that also broke it down to the little pieces gave me a way to really isolate where it was I couldn't get the movement into my body. And of course, sometimes, you know, it's the two of you, District Zouk, I mean, I really admire you're facing such a hard challenge to try to bring this to an internet environment where we don't have each other's bodies and we don't have the kind of, we don't have the same cues that we would have in the room physically, right? And so I just can't even imagine what it is to try to offer this to people who are soul dancers in their houses. And it's just amazing to me how clear that structure has been. And so I think, you know, my boss used to say that the structure is there to keep us in line, and then the artistry and the improv is there to make it look good, to make it look beautiful, and to express our hearts. And I think y'all give us both of those. You give us enough of the content that we can improvise and learn to improvise without being rigid in our dancing, but enough structure that it can accommodate different learning styles and have everybody understand and not get too confused.
Super nice. Yeah, that's
thank you. That
cool,
was beautiful.
because that's super nice. Because I remember in our momentum class that we had that we did learn simple turn in a loop. That we learned that same thing in the beginner class with the structure. Like we go here and we go there with the lines and then in the momentum class, like, what the hell, you know? let's just do this thing here, you know? So like we learning first how would be the square thing, and then rounding those edges. So it's super.
It was clever. I don't know if y'all
of this method.
Sorry, what?
No, I really like this method of like teaching the square first and then make it round. I really like it. Yeah, and I appreciate it even more after Alisson arrived here, because I could see more the benefits of going through this path. We teach first the technique, in the sense of very precisely knowing where we're going, where we're stepping, where our body's facing, giving the directions, giving the points, and then we round all the thing. So it's super nice to experience that with you guys and hear you guys' feedback on how that actually works, because we don't know if it works until we hear that is working.
Yeah, and the moments
from
that
our side, we're always wondering if it does.
well,
It's really interesting to watch, like, since the beginning, how much it has you're teaching on this Zoom platform. Well, actually, it was Facebook Live at first, right?
Yeah.
But even then, to watch your teaching evolve, the things that you picked up, and some of it from the feedback from the students and stuff, that gradually improved. Like what Emily said. When you say turn your how did it say
Back
it?
to the camera. Back to the
Yeah,
camera.
back to the camera. We didn't know whether we were to turn our back to the camera or face our back to the camera, and
Yeah.
change the word, or Guy, you'd pull up one pant leg so we could tell which leg was left and which one was right, and
Yeah.
Different colored socks as well.
yeah, and it is just, and then the whole thing of, because so many instructors, dance instructors, when they teach, they're teaching so they're facing the students, which makes it easier for them to see what students are doing and help offer feedback. Unfortunately, for some students, that means that they have to mirror that image of what the teacher's doing and trying to figure it out, and it's too much at the beginning. And so, it's nice you
Yeah.
guys do it from multiple directions, and then even put in the thought for things like, when you're going to a 90-degree turn, what direction are you going to be facing at the end of it, so
Yeah.
that the students will still know which way to be. They won't be looking over their shoulder trying to see what you're doing. So that
Yeah.
was really, really nice.
Man, that was so much, like, you have no idea. Sometimes I would just stand here in the room and be like figuring out where you guys would be looking at, and preparing my head to say those things as they would happen, because your brain starts to get super confused. So it's definitely a learning process. It's so interesting. Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago, when I was teaching Hawaii, the setup that I had to do there, as you guys may remember, was facing the corner. So now I had to do a class in a rectangle shape facing the corner. So now I didn't have corners of the room to help me anymore. So that first night was a mess because
wow.
and it was a turns class. I was doing a turn and I was facing the front of the room, but I should have been facing the corner because the corner was the front. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was struggling.
Oh.
I didn't notice because I was too busy trying to figure out what I was doing.
I'm glad you guys are struggling enough that you didn't see my struggle, because I was trying to fit like in a corner. I was trying to fit a square. So like it was, and that's why in the second part of the class, I just put plates on the floor. I was like, you know what, this is gonna help me and this is gonna help the students. So I just put like markers on the floor because I was lost myself.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And I have a question for Stephen now. Stephen, we are doing MAC, Stephen, Alex, Alisson and I. We're doing MAC, and for us, MAC is the Alexi Carvalho methodology course. And for us here in the East, it starts at 4 a.m. So 4 a.m. we start the thing.
Now I'm joining you guys.
Yeah, now Alisson is going to be with us, and then it goes until 1 p.m. And the class has a practical part at some point. So you have been awake since 4 a.m. and like at 11 a.m. you could dance, you could follow along, and Stephen is there doing the dancing. Like, I wanted to, and I am half dead on my couch with my blanket, and I wanted to know, Stephen, where does energy come from, man? How do you make it?
What is the secret?
Do it?
Who are you trying to avoid?
What makes you keep coming back?
on the Friday night and also on the Saturday night before. I try my best to go to sleep at 8 or 9. Does not always work. There have been times in which I'm trying to force myself to go to sleep at that time, and it's 1 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, oh my God, I have to wake up in 3 more hours. Please, God, let me sleep. And so yeah, I coffee and and then we have that 1 hour break where I can take like a 20-minute nap. And
Yes.
yeah, but I mean, really, like the topics are very interesting. So as long as it's interesting, then I can kind of stay awake. I think I still have a little bit of, even though it was many, many years ago, like grad school blood, where you just go on for, 100 hours at a time, and you know,
Oh yeah.
and you just keep on going and you find that energy. Because for me, I feel like this past year has been my graduate studies for dance. I'm like, this is a window of opportunity that I'm not gonna get this, uh, you know, access to all these top like artists around the world, like just teaching and sharing all that knowledge. I mean, normally I have day job, kids, wife, I can't be traveling all the time. And so for me, then I can just do this. And then plus, like I said, since normally when I take a workshop, I can only pull one thing out of the workshop. But with this thing here, it's like, oh, hey, I have this recording. I totally did not get what, Kadu and Larissa were doing here, or Alisson, you were talking about, moving my shoulders up, up, down, up, and then I had to watch the video over again, and I get so much out of that, being able to review it right away, because oftentimes in class, you don't have time to run back to your notepad and take down all the notes to try to do it again. And even if you do, it's
Yeah.
like, what the heck did I write? So this has been kind of like a once in a lifetime opportunity for me to pick up all of this knowledge from all the amazing like top artists in the world.
And on top of that, a lot of the feedback that we've had from other students is that they would love to be joining our classes and they really enjoy our classes, but they cannot stand being in front of the computer for any longer than they have to because of work. So how do you both do, like on top of your normal daily hours that you have to spend in front of the computer working, still finding that passion and the discipline? Or is it the discipline that kicks in regardless of the inspiration, because when inspiration is missing, discipline kicks in, that methodology. At least that's what I follow. Some mornings I don't want to do it, but the discipline has to kick in and we just got to do it.
Well, I like that it's not on my butt. I'm not sitting in front of the computer.
Yes.
But I think, I was going to joke with you, Stephen, and say, wow, it really sounds like you're on a mission this year. Like, I'm going to get it this year. I'm going to master my skills and my techniques. So that's got to be some of the momentum. But honestly, it doesn't feel like I'm in front of the computer when we're in your classes, because we're moving around the room. I mean, I clear my kitchen table out of the way, my chair's out of the way, and I just set my laptop there. And especially like, okay, so when we start, we kind of like sit in front of the computer and I put my Zoom on gallery view so I can see everybody else. And when we're doing the warm-ups, I feel like I'm in the room with everybody doing the warm-ups. Maybe it's just me being a geek, but I totally love the gallery view for that. And then when you actually start teaching, and then you're full screen and we're moving around the room, and you all are like, okay, we're going to watch you now, and giving us feedback. It does not feel like you're in a distant place on a computer.
Yes, that.
Well, I like that.
I'm going to dance over here for a minute because I didn't get that yet.
I'm going to get out of the frame here just a little bit.
When somebody's struggling because they or something's wrong because they just do this. Look.
Well, that's a cool trick.
come back. And we're like, oh, I know what you're doing.
Oh.
I'm like, oh wow, they're actually watching. It feels like we're in the room with you. It feels much more intimate. It does not feel like we're on computing.
Okay, I gotta say that it's very, very special to hear that, because that's one of the main concerns that we have. You know, one of the main concerns that we have is that everyone feels like they are in the same room as us, and that they are being looked after equally. You know, we want to talk to all of you every single class, multiple times. We want to tell you something. We want to appreciate you for something, but we also want to correct you for something, you know, and really feel like we are in the same room, because even though we're not, one day we will be, and it will not be different. You know,
Oh, good. It won't be different. I won't be able to into the side and hide.
No.
You won't be able to turn the camera off in the
No.
real life.
And you know what we do in our in-person classes? We lock the room, so you cannot even leave.
Well, I'll tell you a little secret. I was especially delighted to see on your all-in membership package that you give us extra, like, do you want to talk about that? Because that's part of the reason I took the all-in membership.
Yeah, the social practice.
No, that you actually get an extra hour with the instructors directly.
Yes, yes.
Feedback.
Yeah.
Yes. I'm thrilled for that, and I'm totally looking forward to it. Definitely going to take advantage of that.
Amazing. That's cool. Yeah, because Stephen and Maya, they got our all-in memberships. I think you guys both of you got for 6 months, right?
Yeah.
6 months, and then
Oh boy,
they're
good
basically
Yeah,
they're basically
All in.
they're all in, like the name says. Yeah, exactly. Which is gonna be super cool, because I feel like so one of the things that are most valuable to me, more than the teaching itself, more than the class itself, is the environment. Is the class environment, is the studio environment, and we don't have that physical studio environment, but we still want to create the teaching environment that is how can I say the word Portuguese, the words in English, I forgot, but it's this environment that makes you wanna learn, that makes you hungry for learning, because you see so many people dancing, you see all the classes, you see the advanced class, you see the beginner class, you see the intermediate class, so you see so much dancing that you get constantly pumped by those influences, and you just want to learn. And that, for me, that's what I feel we are beginning to create online now, especially when we have our Q&As on Tuesdays or on Wednesdays, right?
Tuesdays. It used to be Tuesdays. Now it will be on Wednesdays.
Yes. So, but in our Q&As is when I have that sensation that I used to have at the dance studio back in the day. That sensation of the people just getting together to sit down and talk about dance or anything else that they want to talk, But so I feel like now this opportunity with the all-in perk, man, that we have, that 1 more hour with us, we're gonna bring on a little bit more of that sensation of belonging to an environment that is focused on learning and creating amazing social dancers. So I think that's the thing that I seek the most for District Zouk, actually.
Yeah, there's this guy who I used to work with, and I still do, kind of, from Australia, and he has probably the biggest dance school that I've ever seen, in terms of number of students coming in the room every day. And he says every day, he always says, I am not a dance teacher. This is not a dance school. This is a community, and I'm here to bring the community together. And through dance, we all have fun, and we go out and we do things. We go boat trips, we have barbecues, we meet for dancing, we meet for movies. But in the end of the day, what I want to build is a huge community where people feel supported and they feel like they belong. Dancing is just one of the activities that we do. You know, so
Yeah.
I love that. I love that, and I think when there was an opportunity for me to come to District Zouk, I was like, yeah, I'm just going from one place to the other, but basically the whole structure is exactly the same. You know, I'm changing countries, but I'm not changing values or principles. You know, District Zouk is the same way. You know, it's all about the community, the get together, even offline. I mean, even not in person, we still try to get together on little Sunday things or, you know, weekly things that we try to do because we just want to be together from far away, but still together.
Yeah, the holiday parties were very fun, by the way.
Yeah.
Both.
Yeah. Oh man, that holiday party was so nice. So nice. Yes. I loved it so much. It was incredible.
Right. We have a question here from Revati, one of our very, very supportive family members and one of our also newest adopted member of the closer family. So Revati is also now part of our team. And congratulations, Revati. I don't think that announcement has been made officially, maybe, but it is here right now. She asked us, what have you both liked and disliked about learning dance online versus in a classroom setting? What have you been able to learn better than you would have otherwise?
Do you want to go first, Steven?
Sure. So I've already mentioned the experience level of you guys as instructors. You know, I don't normally have access to that, so that is a big plus for me. You know, the being able to review the recordings, that is very useful to me, because I don't pick up things very quickly. And then the thing that makes things hard, well, normally if I get lost in a in-person class, especially like if it's a sequence or a choreo type of thing, I can cheat and look at the person next to me and see what they're doing and try to copy it. But with my setup, I have all these tiny little squares and there's no chance that I'm going to be able to cheat off the next person's homework.
You need a bigger screen.
Or also, like, you know, not being able to, you know, even during the short period that I did have a partner, not being able to switch partners, that is really hard. Or when you don't have a partner at all, then when you're trying to learn the lead part, then you have to imagine where your follower is going to be, or as a follower, you have to imagine where your lead's going to be so that you don't raise your hand up with some arm styling and whack your imaginary lead in the face or something like that. So that to me is difficult, to not just be able to figure out what I'm doing, but also imagine what the other person is doing in proximity to me.
Yeah, that's very interesting. But you know, let me just be me here and say that we always say in class, you know, I think the best is when you actually know how to do it by yourself and when you can also imagine the other person. So it's a struggle to learn how to do that. But when you do that and when you get there, your dancing just gets better and better, faster and faster. And that's what teachers have. You know, you wonder what teachers do have. The biggest thing that, in my opinion, teachers have that most students don't have is the ability to do anything and everything by themselves. Because a lot of the students, they need a partner. They need, and needing a partner is not good. Wanting a partner or appreciating a partner is good, but needing a partner is not good. Also because one of my teachers in the past, she said, you know, Alisson, I'm going to first train you to dance by yourself. And our first 6 months, I did not touch my teacher. She's like, no, first I want to make sure, I don't recommend this, okay? I was doing competition, so that's a different style. It's a different story. I was doing competition, okay? So because I was doing competition. She was like, look, I want to make sure that you are 100% before I partner you with somebody, because I don't want the other partner to compromise for you, and I don't want you to compromise for the other partner. So I think that's very important to understand that even emotionally, you know, bring yourself into the dance 100%. Physically, bring yourself to the dance 100%. Mentally, physically, everything, just bring yourself 100%. So then, you know, the more you are filled up and your cup is full, I think the math doesn't work, but 100% and 100% equals 100%. Okay. In that sense, you know, both of you are going to be able to like really give that, that full connection, instead of like me just giving 50% and my partner just giving me 50%. And I don't feel like my partner is giving enough, and I don't feel like I'm giving enough. I know, don't do the math, but the idea works.
Yeah, I've been in both scenarios with that. Having been in a studio equally with like whip wielding bosses who are like, you need to be able to do the pattern on your own, who also required that I could stop at any moment in the middle of a pattern to make sure that I had the pattern, that I just wasn't letting balance or momentum carry my body through it. And so I know the value of being able to dance and know your own pattern. And then when you go with different partners, you can actually feel where they really have their own balance and their own and presence to you as a dancer. So I definitely appreciate the value of that. Although there were a couple patterns that I just didn't understand it at all until I danced it with a partner. And then I was like, oh, that's what's... So seeing you both, that you haven't always had partners with you, but to see the patterns with your partners in the room when you were able to do that, that was actually also really, really helpful. And then, of course, I love being able to learn in my pajamas. That rocks.
The fact that you don't have to drive around and find parking and all of those things. You just have to switch the camera on and we're ready to go. I'll tell you what, girl, I miss teaching in person. And like last month, I was in Hawaii, having that experience of my life, you know, teaching for a group and being with a group every day. But still, you know, being able to just turn on the camera, do it, it has its perks.
Yeah, show up at the last minute, be like, okay, ready to go.
I'm still on time. I'm still on time. And like Steven said multiple times, the fact that you can rewatch, you know, it's the best. And also just a quick note here for Kelly. Kelly, hello, my love, beijos. 100%. When I said 100%, I mean 100% of everything that you have. So it doesn't matter if you're a beginner. It doesn't matter if it's your first lesson. It doesn't matter if you're an intermediate. Just give yourself 100%. Okay, so don't. When I say 100%, I don't mean 100% of like everything that has that is available to learn, but just, you know, bringing yourself 100% to that moment. So that is what I meant. Because we were looking at the comments here on Facebook too, guys.
But Maya, what is your favorite and not favorite parts of the online experience?
I think part of my favorite part is that the weeks that I absolutely could not come, I knew I wasn't going to miss anything because those recordings were there. And having, you know, when I was in the studio, if you weren't there that week, that was it. You missed everything. So that's part of it. I think part of what I haven't enjoyed so much is the changing partners, the being able to get a sense of how different dancers dance. One of the things that that I liked that you changed, Guy, right near the end of cycle 8 was, or maybe you didn't change it, maybe I just happened to hear it for the first time, but in the beginning, I was kind of like, okay, this is our pattern and we're following exactly to the letter the way this structure is being given. But then when we saw it actually in the midst of the dance, of course, things change. So if the music is faster, your footwork is tighter. If your partner is taller, I'm very tall. you might not be able to be in the same body position in order to do a turn, that kind of thing. And so I missed having the opportunity to just see the pattern in terms of its dance dynamic nature rather than the fixed pattern, you know, like, so if we watch, and what I say you changed it, what I mean is that what I heard you saying near the end that I didn't hear in the beginning is, don't take this pattern literally. I'm going to show it that your brain gets it, but it's going to look different when you dance it. And
yes.
that really, it was helpful. And, you know, the guy I was dancing with was like, oh, that explains everything.
Yeah. I don't think I said that in the beginning, no. I think for some reason I said that in the end. Yeah, I don't know why, but it's see guys, that's the kind of thing that happens. They give us a feedback. Now for the next classes, all of them, I'm going to make sure to highlight this part. Yeah. So cool, super cool.
So I look forward to when we did Zouk in the park. I really loved being able to meet people in person, being able to maybe share COVID-friendly hugs with masks and all are bundling up and grill afterwards, you know, like, and so I miss that kind of interacting in the social part of it and being able to feel the different body experiences that are a little bit different, but the ability, like Steven said, to repeat things that I was really, really bad at the privacy of my own home over and over and over as many times as I needed it. Like, that was great.
Yeah. Well, guys, I think we are getting close to the end of our talk, right, Alisson?
Yes, we don't want to keep it for too long, and it's late, so yes.
Yeah.
Well,
almost 10 o'clock.
Thank you for laughing with us this time.
Yes, of course.
Always we.
And we also wanted to take this opportunity, guys, to talk again about our next cycle of online classes that's coming up this next Tuesday, the 19th of January. Is going to be a very tumultuous week here in the United States of America, but hopefully
I completely forgot about it. So yeah, make sure that you join us on Tuesday and Wednesday to forget, or not to forget. You should not forget, but to at least help you go through that moment.
Yes, we're gonna watch the news later. We're gonna dance first.
Yes,
right. And
happiness first. Happiness first.
We have 4 new courses for this new cycle. Tools for mindful dance, which was actually an idea that came from Maya. Building your dance, our continuation of our beginner series. And then we have the follower solo training with Alisson, with a more intermediate approach with head movement, turns in the horizontal axis, all these more intricate things, intricate techniques, and technique and drills as well. With that vibe as well, right? We're gonna talk about musicality, right, Alisson?
Musicality, torso, axis, torsion, and upgrading all the basics.
And then our website is totally updated with all this information, and we have our memberships as well. We have our standard membership that you get access to all of our material except the live classes, and you have our all-in membership that you have access to everything. Yeah, and plus a couple of additional perks, additional things that you guys are gonna get. For example, my favorite one, the all-in membership. Maya and Stephen, they're gonna be able to download the recaps. Yeah, they're gonna have access to all our recaps, and they can download them to watch them offline, which was another feedback that I got from Maya, that she would love to be able to watch things offline. Yeah, so we implemented that in the all-in membership. Yeah, so I think that was all the message that I wanted to give. Right, boss?
Yes. So guys, once again, thank you so much for being part of our District Zouk family for such a long time. Steven, we're going to celebrate our first anniversary, and I expect cakes and flowers and champagne, just so you know, and chocolate. very, very soon. You know, God knows we never expected this to happen, but we always have to look at the bright side of it all. You know, we have been able to connect with people that we've never had connected with before, and probably wouldn't have had this friendship. I wouldn't even call friendship, but more of a family feeling with people that are not right next to our bedroom, I should say, because right now we can't even see friends. So if you're not living together, you basically have to connect with people online. So we're very, very grateful and thankful for your support and for everybody's support throughout the world. You know, we went from offline to online in 3 days. In the first term, yeah, the first block, we had like 185 students, which is insane. It's like a congress,
Yes.
you know, in our class, you know, so that was insane. Nowadays, we have a smaller group, which allows us to, you know, give personal attention and feedback to everyone. So we actually enjoy the smaller group because we get that feeling of, you know, you and me and you, and we always talking to each other. So yeah, we're looking forward to having you guys there, and we're looking forward to have everybody else joining. Thank you so much, Maya and Steven.
Thank you so much, and look forward to meeting all the people who come to the Q&As. It felt like fun socializing. Thank you.
Yes.
I look forward to it.
And make sure you bring your food when you come to the Q&A.
Yes, dinner time.
Carmela always has all this good food.
I know. My belly also knows. So every time I weigh myself, I'm like, damn you, Hermela. But yeah, guys, thank you so much. Thank you, Guy. Thank you,
Thank
Maya.
you.
Thank you, Steven. Thanks,
Thank you.
Ashley. As
Thank
always,
you.
in the background, doing all the hard work that maybe you don't know, maybe you don't see, but Ashley is always there sleeping like maybe 30 minutes a night, you know, at most sometimes. We're all very thankful to Ashley and the entire Zouk community, the media, the safe space, the communications, I got, guys, sorry, we have like many committees in District Zouk, so I'm sorry for forgetting them. Beijos, beijos. Abraços.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
We'll see you